few weeks ago I took a look at the Star Trek original series Mego figures, which have been very plentiful and have been a really fun line to collect. Those figures were basically re-releases or slightly tweaked releases, or in some cases some new additions to a line that already existed back in the 1970s. But a few years ago, Mego did branch out and did a line based on the Wrath of Khan. This of course is the first time that we've had any Mego figures based on any of the movies from the Star Trek series. And the Wrath of Khan seems like a sensible place to start, as it is one of the most beloved films in the franchise. But of course, one of the added benefits is that because the costumes are mostly the same across the rest of the films, we essentially have movie-era Kirk and Spock figures. And really, all that Mego needs to do now is put out the rest of the crew and introduce different villains from each of the different films, and we could have a pretty definitive set of movie-era Star Trek figures. So the packaging is pretty standard, it's what we've come to expect from Mego. It is of course just the basic on-brand Star Trek appearance, but what is quite nice of course is that for a change this is the movie era, so we get to see Captain Kirk as he appears in the Wrath of Khan in the top left hand corner there, which is nice. And on the back we can actually see the original movie poster and a little bit of information about Mego themselves. So this is a nice touch, really beautiful poster, beautiful artwork, and nice to see it replicated on the back of the card art. I'll start off by looking at Captain Kirk, of course, and I think the first thing to mention is obviously this is a brand new sculpt, so we're actually seeing, Mego's attempt at doing a movie-accurate head sculpt for Captain Kirk, and of course the costume is brand new, and I think the overall presentation is really striking. This looks pretty authentic and actually nicely detailed for a Mego figure. I like the attempt to create a leather effect belt. I love that it's got the insignia on the belt, and of course he does have the ability to strap in his phaser and communicator as well. Likewise, the top of the shirt has the insignia there, again completely movie accurate, and it's nice that they've actually gone to the effort to properly reproduce it and give it the two different tones of the gold and the black there. It looks fantastic. I'm actually surprised by the attention to detail. We can see the effort that's gone into this figure by just looking at the armband markings on Kirk's left sleeve. Again, completely screen accurate and different to Spock's. Likewise, the red piping down the side of the pants there. It's a little thing, but it's really nice to see. It sets the figure off, it's screen accurate, and it looks really good, like it's very presentable. And likewise, the vest at the top there does turn down if you want it to, which again is a nice touch. It's what happens in the film, and it's lovely that they've gone to the effort to actually put that in there, so I really like that. This new head sculpt is really well done, I think. It captures William Shatner's likeness close enough. I think it's certainly better than other figures that we've seen based on the Wrath of Khan. I'm thinking, of course, of Art Asylum's release from a few years ago. And I like that they've actually bothered to put some highlighting, some paint apps in the hair there to give him a sense of age and looking a little bit older. They've also sculpted a brand new phaser, and this looks fantastic. They've even gone to the effort again of adding some paint apps in there, giving it different colours to make it really pop and look really exciting, and I think this is fantastic. It's screen accurate, it's colourful, and it works perfectly. Now, looking at the Spock, it's the same story. A brand new sculpt, looks significantly older, and they've done a fantastic job with this. The costume is largely the same, but it's not identical, and they've also gone to the trouble of giving him the Vulcan salute hand as well. This is absolutely brilliant. In my opinion, these figures are already a cut above the original series Mego releases. Now, I did say the costume wasn't exactly the same, and that's because on the left sleeve we can see, of course, that Captain Spock has a different rank to Admiral Kirk, and so he's got different markings there. I absolutely love this attention to detail. It would have been so easy to just replicate the same costume, but I love they've gone the extra mile here. And likewise, here's the Vulcan hand salute. Obviously, very iconic and much loved, and I'm really glad to see it because the original Series 1 doesn't have this. And I also think the head sculpt is vastly superior to the original Series 1. Last but by no means least, we have Kahn. Again, we're seeing the same attention to detail in this outfit. It of course is an absolutely brand new figure, new head sculpt, new costume, and I think the overall presentation is absolutely fantastic. Yes, of course it is delivered in that, usual simplistic Mego style, but actually, I think they've done an incredible job with this, and it looks really very, very good. The head sculpt is pretty strong. It's not perfect, but it's certainly recognisable as Kahn. And I like that they've given him the broken Star Trek insignia around his neck there as well. And it's fitted very tightly, so it doesn't bob about and get in the way of the figure when you're moving the head and things like that. So it looks pretty solid most of the time, even though it is obviously slightly larger than it appears in the film. The tunic is made from a sort of felt material, so it's nice to the touch. It looks very screen accurate in terms of the colorization. I like that they've gone to the trouble to give it little rips and tears, and they've actually sewn in some black marks there to make it look a bit more worn, a bit more lived in, which is great. And of course they've also gone to the trouble of moulding that piece there for his belt, which, you know, looks very effective and looks really good. So honestly, overall, I absolutely love these figures. I actually think these are probably some of the best in the Mego line. I would say they're vastly superior to the original series. The moulds are slightly better in terms of the head sculpts. I love, obviously, that Spock comes with his Vulcan salute. I think the phasers are nice. I think the attention to detail, there's a lot more paint apps. And yeah, overall, I think they're incredibly presentable. And considering this is the 8-inch scale, it's Mego, they're meant to be very toyetic and obviously child-friendly. I actually think they've done an incredible job, and they're very collector-friendly too. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe, as I will be posting more videos soon.